Welcome back, everybody. My name is Tim. This is another Real Ideal Gear Review. Today we're looking at the Sofirn IF23. This is one of my favorite flashlights, and I don't say that lightly. I'm actually very serious about this flashlight is climbing up the list of just multi-purpose, kind of do-it-all flashlight. And there's a number of things about this flashlight that I just have a hard time ignoring as far as its capability goes. Now, there's the very small version of this that's been around for a much longer time, which is the Rovivon A8. And it's a great keychain flashlight. It has some of the same basic functions. You have the flashlight at the top, you have the sidelight, and the different functions of the sidelight on the Rovivon. This one does that as well. It doesn't have the infrared emitter on here, which is fine. The infrared emitter to me is really... I use it for charging up the lumen in my watches. I use it for the kind of black light effect, kind of a cool... just wow factor. But it's one of those things that I just think that a multi-purpose flashlight like this is so incredibly useful for a variety of things. In the car, in the home, outdoors, at work. There's just so many things about this setup. So let's get into this. Let's talk about the exterior, get into the interior. I've got some loom shots, so to speak. I've got the flashlight in action, and you can see what the beam shape is like outdoors. So let's start with the outside. So the anodized case, I love the anodized case. This is a larger flashlight. When you look at something like one of my favorites here, we'll pull up the H16. It's been a number of videos, so we'll just keep pulling this up. The Ace Beam H16. It's about 2/3-ish the size of the IF23. So the IF23 has a larger, obviously, print. If you were to try to pocket carry this is, I don't know, this is, I think, beyond pocket carry. But you could certainly do that. You have a pocket clip here. And actually, it's a deep carry pocket clip. When you look at where the location of this pocket clip is, you can definitely carry this deep in the pocket. So far, yeah, you could use this as a pocket carry. I'm just not sure that the size really gives way to that. So it's a larger size flashlight, and I'm okay with that. I think the larger size flashlights, like any other flashlight, has its place. So just kind of carry it with that in mind. It's a larger flashlight. All right. Button here at the operation, the user interface button is right here. You have a magnetic tail cap, which, by the way, this is an excellent magnetic tail cap. This really sticks very well to anything that is magnetic, ferrous metals, that kind of thing. It really does a great job. It stays put. Even with just a little bit of vibration or shaking, it will generally stay put. Great two-way clip. Plenty of strength on this one. Now, as far as using the two-way clip, especially on a ball cap, I think there's quite a bit of weight that is extended out beyond where the light is. So if you were to use the top clip here and put this on your ball cap, there's just so much weight out front. I think the leverage that you have out here is probably too high for a ball cap. But it's there. It's if you need to use it for a brief period of time, that's great. I don't know about using this like for a hike or anything like that. But multi-purpose. So if you wanted to bring just one light, this might be the one light that you bring on any kind of excursion, outdoors, car trip, anything like that. So overall, I love the exterior of this flashlight. It's very straightforward. There's just not a lot really to go wrong with this. You have the rubber cap for your Type-C charging. All right, pull that out. So there's your Type-C charging. And the shape, it fits in the hand really well. For me, for my hand, I grip it and it has a little bit sticking out on one side, a little bit on the other side. So it really fits my hand really well. If I was to use this in any kind of tactical emergency situation, you could definitely do that. So let's get into the interiors. Let's go through the specs real quick. So the lumen output on this is 4,000 lumens turbo. So if you turn it on and double click, you're going to get 4,000 lumens. And I tell you what, this is a great amount of light for a turbo. I love the 4,000 lumens. And then it steps down to 1,500 lumens. Let me get my notes here. 1,500 lumens for 2.5 hours, 500 lumens for 4 hours, which is awesome, 100 lumens for 17.5 hours, and then 1 lumen, the moonlight mode, for 27 days. Both, the 4,000 lumens and the 1 lumen for the brightness level and also the runtime are impressive. But really, what impresses me is the 1,500 lumens for 2.5 hours, and then you've got 500 lumens for 4 hours. So really and it's a 21700 battery in here, so you're going to get a good runtime out of this flashlight. It's got a good storage capacity, 5000 milliamp hour battery. Obviously, you have the multiple emitters, you have the two-way clip, and then you also have the, let's see here, the XHP50B emitter. I'm not too familiar with that emitter, but it does a great job. Let's see the temperature on this, the Kelvin. I don't have it listed on here. But it seems to be more of a cool light, maybe 5,000, but I think it's more in the 6,000 range for the coolness factor of the light. So those are the specs of the flashlight. Oh, the water resistance on this is IP68. So great water resistance that you have with this flashlight. Now, this flashlight, I think, again, you have just the multiple uses for this flashlight. And there's a couple of things that I want to keep in mind. And I've been hearing a lot about this online, and this is kind of my coming into the defense of the Sofirn IF23. They say the user interface is too complicated. I say BS. That is not true. You want to turn on the flashlight, click it once. Okay? There's your flashlight mode. You want to click on the side light, click it twice. Okay? You want the color side light, click it 3 times. All right, I don't know how more simple that could be. If I go, there's on. All right, if I turn it on and I go 3 clicks, it goes to the side light, 1, 2, 3. I get the blinking light, 1, 2, 3. I get both lights, 1, 2, 3. I get the flashlight, 1, 2, 3, and I go back to the side light, 1, 2, 3. I get the blinking side light, 1, 2, 3, and I get both lights. Like, it's not that difficult. So you've got some great features in here. And of course, when you go to, let's see, 1, 2, 3. When I go here and I go to my side light, all right, double click, I get out of the SOS or the blinking mode. And then if I hold press, I can go through the different color lights. All right, and you can see that shining at the camera is not going to do any good. There it goes to blue, goes from purple to blue to green to yellow, over to orange and red. So you get that by just holding the side lights, so you get the different colors. And that's, frankly, again, that's what I'm using over here. I've got the IF24 running over here on red, and that just gives a little color accent on here, which is kind of nice. All right, so I don't think the user interface is that difficult to use. All right, again, 1 click is flashlight, and then if you go 2 clicks, this is from the off position, you get the side light. And then if you do this again, 1, 2, 3, I get the colored light. Now, if I hit double click on here, I'm going to get the blinking, all right? And it turns it off. I mean, it really is not that difficult. You have basically 3 different things that you're working with: the flashlight, the side light, and then the colored light. 1, 2, 3. So to me, the user interface is not that big a deal. Now, what I think makes this flashlight so incredibly useful, not only is it the intense beam. Now, this is more of a floodlight out the top, so this is not a long-distance flashlight. This is medium, maybe medium to close quarters. Now, it has such a bright turbo, 4000, that you could definitely use this and get the candela. The candela on this one is, let me see here, 15,000. Yeah, 15,275. So it's not bad. Now, that's at the highest level, but it's more or less a floodlight. But when you move back off of that 4,000 lumens down to 1,500 lumens, this really is more of your kind of immediate lighting needs. This is going to be the campsite. This is going to be inside the house, parking lot, not parking lot necessarily, but parking ramp, staircases, that kind of thing. The side light obviously is going to do even more of a diffused light effect, and this is going to be great for reading light, just an overall light in a room. So this is just a really great diffused light. And you get the low lumen level on here, you get the high lumen level on here. There's a bunch of different levels on the side light as well. So the variability of the light is great. Now, here's the thing I think that makes this flashlight excellent for outdoor use. You can use this as a charging pack for other devices. So this two-way Type-C charger not only is an input, but it's also an output. Now, that is something I think is really important when it comes down to the multi-function of a flashlight, especially if you want an all-in-one flashlight. If I needed to go on a trip and I wanted to grab one flashlight that pretty much did it all, this would be one of the choices that I would make. I don't know what else you could possibly get out of a flashlight that this flashlight does not provide. So, to me, that's, I think, one of the great things about this flashlight. You've got, the 21700 battery in here, easy to access. 5,000 milliamp hour. And you get the magnetic tail cap, so you can put this just about anywhere on any surface. If you're out camping, stick a knife in a tree or a shovel in the ground, whichever position you want that in, and then you can rotate the flashlight on that. Just a lot of variability. Like this to me is one, like if you're going to have a flashlight in your car, I would have this flashlight in your car for sure. If there's ever things are going south really fast, I would definitely make sure I have this flashlight with me. I'm going to have a bunch of other flashlights, but I'm going to make sure I have this one with me because this one really does a lot. And again, a two-way charging port. It's Type-C. There's nothing proprietary about it, really. I mean, you're going to find all kinds of cords out there if you don't have one, borrow one, that whole thing. So to me, this flashlight has just so much. I love this flashlight. I'd love to hear what you have to say about this flashlight. Now, I know the updated version that's out there, the IF24, and here it is right here. Again, I'm providing the accent light with it. I'm not so sure that IF24, everybody talks about this is the great upgrade. I'm not so sure about that. There's a couple of very important things about that flashlight that do not meet my standards like this one does. And so I think this might be, I'm going to go through I'm still using the IF24, and I'm going to get this one out here pretty soon. It may be during Flashlight Week. I'm going to try. But I'm pretty convinced that this flashlight offers some things that even the quote-unquote updated version of the IF24 doesn't provide. So I love it. I think it's a great flashlight. It does all kinds of great things. Put in the comments down below what you think of this flashlight. I'm curious to see what you say. If you have any Sofirns that are like this, or any other dual emitter type flashlights. And I'm not talking about dual emitter like the E7 from Wuban. I'm talking about dual emitters like diffuse light in the side and you get the flashlight at the top. That's what I'm looking for. If you got anything like that, just let me know what you think of that. I think these are great flashlights, great multi-purpose flashlights, especially when you have a magnetic tail cap on there. It just opens the door to all kinds of possibilities. So there you go. My name's Tim. This has been another Real Ideal Gear review. We'll catch you guys next time.